Hello, and welcome to the May Patron Community Stream. I hope everybody is doing well tonight. Got a lively chat going already. How is everybody out in the chat? Hello, hello. I'm going to go ahead and bring on my panel tonight. First, joining me all the way from the UK, we have got the real fifth Beatle, Mike. How's it going, Mike?
I'm very well, Piers. How are you, man?
Doing good. Doing good. How's everything over in the UK?
It's pretty good, man. It's pretty good. It's not too bad. Not too bad.
That's good to hear. That's very good to hear. All right, very, very good to see you. Glad you're doing well. Glad everything's going well for you. Also joining me tonight, author, critic, specimen 2240. Lauren, how's it going, man?
I'm unmuted, so that's good. Hey, I'm getting by. How are you tonight, Piz?
Doing well. Doing well.
How are you, Mike?
Good, man. Very good. Very good.
Excellent. Excellent. So that we're all okay.
We're all doing good. We're all okay.
Yeah, it's rare these days.
I think that's the best you can hope for sometimes.
That's that. Hope is dangerous.
That's what Red said in the Shawshank Redemption. So, but good to see you tonight, Lauren.
I'm not sure about that, but thank you.
Also joining me tonight from the Flesh Wound Feature YouTube channel, Dan. What's going on, Dan?
What's up, Piz?
What's going on with you? Are you good? Are you good?
I'm pretty much good.
Okay.
No major complaints right now.
That's good.
I'm gonna be down I guess it's not really your way, but I'll be in Kentucky, so neck of the woods in October. I'm gonna go to Scarefest for the first time.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I'm planning on going to that one too. Friday the 13th Part 3 reunion, pretty much. They've got a bunch of Friday 13th Part 3 people.
Return of the Living Dead and Lance Henriksen, who's really nice if you haven't met him before.
Yeah, I met him a few years ago. He was pretty nice. I actually at a Scarefest. So.
Oh, nice. I met him in Toronto in I think 2011 at a Near Dark screening. Ask him about like any movie. He's got a story. Even the shittiest movie on his filmography, he'll have something for you. His alimony pictures, he calls them.
But no, he was a really nice guy, as I recall, and he had a pretty big line also. So I mean, it was always good to see. It was good to see that too. That there was some love and respect for him there. So
yeah.
But yeah, I'm planning on going to that one too. So we'll have to see if we can't run into each other.
Yeah, I think there's going to be a lot of people in the community potentially going, so that'll be fun.
Very cool. Very cool. All right, well, it's good to see you, Dan. Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
Also joining me tonight, making his Patron stream debut, Old Curly Jaws. How you doing, man?
What's up? Doing pretty good.
Well, good, man. How's it? You're making your debut here. I've put you on the spot. Tell us all about yourself.
All right, so basically, I'm O Curly Jaws. I'm from the O Curly Jaws and Duncan channel on YouTube. Subscribe, that'd be awesome. Really appreciate it. Basically, do movie reviews, random shit, food test videos, drinking videos, out in the boot, pretty much the whole 9 yards.
Okay, interesting. Sort of a potpourri of content over there.
Huh?
So, sort of a potpourri of content over there. Just a little bit of everything, right?
Pretty much if you like something, it's probably on there.
Well, very cool, man. Thanks for being here tonight. Thanks for being a patron. I appreciate it.
Oh, no problem.
And we've got a couple other people who are trying to join, but they seem to be having connection problems. Aaron, I know, has tried to join a couple of times, so keep trying to join, Aaron. Hopefully we'll get that situation sorted out. And Dr. Jackal, I see you in the green room, but I can't click on you because it says you are not connected. So try to back out and come back and try and reconnect. All right, so let's talk about Dario Argento. You guys up for talking about Dario Argento?
Absolutely.
We're only going to talk about Dracula 3D though. That's it. That's the only movie we're talking about is Dracula 3D.
Piz really loves praying mantises.
Personally, I thought that was his best movie.
That's a bold statement. That's a very bold statement.
We love controversial takes.
We do.
That one will get you on the watch list though.
Well, when it comes to my channel, I'm the voice of controversy. My opinion on movies is very out there. Just SCK.
Well, let me tell you a little bit about Old Curly Jaws. Old Curly Jaws requested that I review the Nightmare on Elm Street remake last month. This month, he has requested that I review the Fog remake.
Oh.
I have never seen it. This is going to be a first-time experience. So,
no.
For me personally, I thought the Fog remake was better than the original.
So Curly Jaws clearly has interesting taste.
Can I suggest that you might want medication?
Aaron has connected. Aaron, how you doing, man?
I'm doing all right. How you guys doing?
Doing good, man. Thanks for being here tonight. You hanging in there?
Oh yeah.
Oh, good. Glad you got those connection issues worked out.
Yeah, I apparently I had my browser to block my webcam because I reset my stuff on my computer, so I got it sorted out.
Okay, good. Well, it's good to see you, man. It's good to see you. But let's talk about Argento. But let's talk about Argento's latest film, Black Glasses or Dark Glasses. I'm not sure what to call it anymore.
I'm told Dark Glasses is the official title, but for some reason IMDb, so I don't know.
Well, the translation Occhiali Neri is Black Glasses, but I keep seeing it called Dark Glasses, but then some people are calling it Black Glasses. I don't know what the heck to call it. So I'm just going to let's just call it Glasses. Let's call it nondescript Glasses. And I know it's not widely available. I've seen it. I know Lauren has seen it. I know Dan has seen it. Has anybody else on the panel seen it? Aaron, Curly Jaws, Mike?
I have not seen. I've heard about it like everywhere, but I've not seen it yet.
Okay. I believe it's going to be on Shudder here pretty soon. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's going to be a Shudder film here soon. But it is Argento's first film in 10 years. The last of his was, of course, Dracula 3D. And you know what's interesting about Argento's career is you can really divide it up into two halves. You have that run from 1970 to 1987, and then you have kind of everything after. And I know I see Lauren. He wants to put Stendhal syndrome.
Yeah, I think that Stendhal is kind of the last great film. It's definitely way better than everything that came after it. So that's where I put the line.
For me, Stendhal syndrome is okay, but I think The Card Player and Sleepless is okay. Like my memory of seeing those for the first time. Well, my memory of seeing Sleepless for the first time I was like, oh my God, this can't be the same Argento. Revisiting it, it's okay. The Card Player is okay. Mother of Tears, I'd say, is okay. I know a lot of people love that movie. I say it's okay. I think a lot of people would say that that's his best of this second half of his career.
A lot of people really like Do You Like Hitchcock? But I think there's a certain sameness to all of them. Even obscenely, Mother of Tears kind of feels very lump-inable, to coin a non-existent and probably horrible word. There's a certain sameness to them all. And without jumping ahead, I think this new one finally broke out of that. So.
Yeah, I totally agree. And a lot of people have speculated, like what changed? Was it just that, the times were changing in in when it came to giallo movies were no longer the what they used to be. So the money dried up, or maybe Argento just kind of, I don't want to say he stopped caring, but maybe I think there's something where if you keep telling somebody how brilliant they are and how great they are, they just think whatever they do is going to be brilliant and great. So even if they half-ass it, they still think it's going to be brilliant and great. And then by the time they start to hear like, he's dropped off, it's like kind of too late. But, I don't know. But there's definitely those two halves. I have it at opera. But if you want to lump Stendhal syndrome into there, that's fine. That's
well,
cool.
Let's throw Dan at this because that'll solve this problem. Where's the line, Dan?
Stendhal would be the last great one for sure. It's complicated with every film. Dracula is for me, and I know there are fans, but Dracula for me is his unforgivable sin. Giallo's pretty bad. Beyond that, I can find something I like in all of them. Sleepless, the first 10 or 15 minutes, I thought, oh my God, the master is back. And even Mother of Tears, it's not great. It's not even good, but it has like those little moments. But yeah, this new one, it doesn't stand up to the classics because everything pre-Stendhal for the most part. I mean, I actually like Trauma. I know that one's a little 50-50. I enjoy that one.
I'm okay with Trauma. I think it's okay.
But like Opera and before, I mean, my God, that guy's got one hell of a filmography. It's classic after classic.
It's second to none. I mean, 70 to 87. That 17-year run is nobody can, no other director period I think can touch it.
I'd argue Cronenberg, but
Rob Zombie.
For some, hey, look, he's got his fans.
He's got his fans.
I would say Carpenter 76 to 82 to rival that, but
that's what I was thinking. He kind of compares to Carpenter, where Carpenter had a later bad career, but all of his earlier stuff is good.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
I think I know what the difference is, though. What made this one come back, and it's kind of it's kind of an obvious thing if you step back a little bit. This is the first of his films to be shot digitally.
Yeah.
So it freed up all that money and time that went into conventional filmmaking. I mean, even Dracula 3D was shot on film, which is so insane. But I think the ability to go and do something DIY with a smaller crew of really dedicated people and put the money where, I mean, that car crash, that's Final Destination 2 level awesome.
Yeah.
And
that's a good point.
And I think they just knew where to put the money. And it also kind of, I hate to say this out loud, but remember in the beginning when Blum was putting out like really fun, good, small horror films like every 6 months? And it was because they said, hey, listen, we're going to do 3 locations with 4 actors. Write that.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of here too. It's like, we're going to limit the cast. We're going to limit the amount of setting. We're just going to tell this story. It's going to be smaller. This is not Phenomena. Okay. Get that out of your head. But I think they made a film in the right container, and the fact that they could shoot as much digital footage as they wanted and then cut together the best possible film really freed him up to kind of just make a film finally.
Did you enjoy the callbacks to some of the other films? I thought a lot of people will, pop for, I won't spoil anything, but
yeah, but you know what? They all worked inside the story, which is what I was happy. They don't fan service. They work for this story. So I was pretty happy. You know what it made me sad about though?
What?
That if Argento had this opportunity to come back, had Fulci not died, would he have gotten his final chance to redeem the last half of his career?
It would have been interesting. I mean, he was in really bad health for many years, so it's hard to say. Fulci had a pretty good record of being entertaining, though. Even with this, even some of his films that aren't as well regarded. It's very rare that I hate a Fulci film.
I'm there with you. It's just it's kind of silly to compare Door to Silence with Zombie or The Beyond or House by the Cemetery, right? So I mean, I would just love to have seen what the digital revolution, what he would have done with those tools. Again, reprioritizing how to make a film the way I feel that Argento was able to do here. Maybe if Nanso Hano or the Card Player had been made with this technology, they could have put the money in the right places. Maybe those films would stand up now.
Yeah, we're comparing the masters, but again, always throw it out. Mario Bava. There's not a lot of stains on that resume.
No.
Yeah. I mean, could you imagine all the eye trauma Fulci could have done in glorious digital? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He could have had like he could have like 3 splinters going into both eyes. You know what I mean? God.
Fulci 3D. We could zombie 3D. It would have happened at some point.
Yeah.
New York Ripper 2.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
I don't know if you can do New York Ripper now. That would be a challenge.
That would be, yeah. But for me, I think Black Glasses, Dark Glasses, whatever. It's like a whole new chapter for Argento, where he seems to be more focused on characters and character arcs than just beautiful images and graphic violence. Not that there aren't beautiful images and graphic violence in this movie. It's just, I think if you go into Black Glasses, Dark Glasses, whatever, expecting like a Tenebrae style bloodbath, it's not there. But I liked the characters in Black Glasses. I cared about the characters in this movie. The whole relationship with Diana and Chin, I liked a lot. I liked Asia Argento's character in the film. I mean, and this will probably turn people away from it, but I mean, there's big chunks of that movie where you're like, is this a giallo or is this like a character movie? You know what I mean? Like the giallo elements just kind of fade out, and
it's very much like the late 60s giallos rather than like what the more popular late 70s era.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I really enjoyed Occhiali Neri, and I definitely recommend it whenever it's available. And I think Dan and Lauren do too.
Yeah, absolutely. I somebody said something about a Shudder date, but I haven't seen that confirmed anywhere. So hopefully everybody gets to check it out. It's just good to see. I mean, I saw Toby Hooper go out with Jin, and that was heartbreaking. So to get to see a legend, if this is his last film, he's going to be 82 in September, I believe. So you never know. Every film could be his last film. If this is it, I'd say one hell of a career, second to very few.
Yeah. Like, okay, what was Romero's last film? Was it Survival of the Dead?
Which was a great film.
I believe it was Survival.
Okay, Survival. Okay.
Yeah.
What was Craven's last film? Was it
Scream 4?
Oh, Scream 4 was the last one. Okay.
Which was the best Scream?
I'm gonna have to look up Wes Craven.
Better than 3.
It's either that or My Soul to Take. One of those is.
Yeah, I was thinking it was My Soul to Take, but it might be.
Fact checking.
Scream 4 was 2011, so.
Scream 4 was the final. Yeah, My Soul to Take was 2010. Scream 4 was 2011.
Yeah.
And right now, John Carpenter's final film is
Ward.
The Ward, starring Amber Heard. I'm sorry. So I mean,
I mean, The Ward wasn't bad. It was all right.
It was bland. It was more bland than bad.
It was. It didn't look or feel like a John Carpenter movie. I thought. I mean, that was clearly just like, John, we've got $500,000, and you'll have to work for 2 weeks. I'll do it. That was it.
We'll give you 5 points on the back end. You'll be making money off this forever, no matter what.
Exactly. Yeah. Here's a picture of the star. Let me see. Oh shit, I'll do that. So. But hey, more power to him. Now he's scoring movies, and that seems to be what he wants to do. So God bless him. I do hope, and I'm so glad that I know you love Dracula 3D. Curly Jaws, but I'm glad that is not Argento's swan song. If this is his swan song, perfect. I hope he does more in this same vein. But he's going to be 81, or he's 81 now, right?
Yeah, he'll be 82 in September. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know.
It's interesting that Aja didn't play the lead in this, which I thought was,
yeah.
She's getting a little older too, but
I wonder if it was some of the requirements of the role. You know what I mean?
I think she was an active producer, not just a producer name only on it. So I think it was just a matter of.
Yeah. What had happened when she was writing her autobiography, she was going through some of her dad's stuff, and this was originally a script from 2002, but the producer went bankrupt, so took us 20 years to get it. So actually, thank Aja, she was the one that found it in his desk, apparently.
Oh, hey, well done. Thank you, Aja. Very cool. Very cool. Well, have you guys seen any other good movies recently? Aaron, have you seen any good movies recently?
One that comes to mind is The Cellar, but I didn't like that movie. It was on Shudder.
Oh, okay, the one with Alicia Cuthbert.
Yeah,
I've not seen it. I've scrolled past it a couple of times, thinking maybe I should start this and see how it goes. But I haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. I know, Dan, you've seen that one too, right?
It's kind of middle of the road. It has its moments. I can see a lot of people liking it more than I did. Yeah, it's decent. The finale was interesting. It's weird seeing Elijah Cuthbert be a mom now. It's just making me feel like an old piece of crap. But it might be worth a watch for some of you. It's one of those movies I'd recommend to some, not to others. It just depends on your tastes.
Yeah. Yeah. When you're watching movies where Alicia Cuthbert and Christina Ricci are moms now, you're like, damn, I'm getting old. It's like, damn.
Yes.
Mike,
what I did was I was watching the Alter YouTube channel. There's a lot of short horror stories on there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's where The Stylist came from. It originally was a short story.
I do believe it was a short film. Yeah.
Yeah. There's some good ones. There's some good and bad ones on there. So I've been watching a lot of those. They're about 20 minutes, 10 to 20 minutes long. Okay. So yeah.
Cool. And I love The Stylist. If you guys haven't seen The Stylist, I definitely recommend it. I liked it a lot.
Check it out.
Yeah. Mike, have you seen anything good lately?
Not a lot of. It was very good, but I will go for Firestarter was as bad as I was suspecting. Yeah, bad. It was just a bad movie. Nothing of any.
I'm surprised. I've heard mixed feelings about that movie.
What was it? I'm sorry.
Firestarter.
Oh, Firestarter.
Yeah. I think you've just erased that film from your memory, Piz. It's not a good movie.
Are you talking about the original one or the remake?
No, the remake. The remake.
Oh no, I've not gone there.
The remake's bad. Morbius, which was not as bad as I was expecting. I thought Morbius wasn't too bad. I was okay with that. I did watch an old Giallo film called A Quiet Place to Kill, which Lauren and Dan will probably be well aware of. I really enjoyed that movie. I did watch The Cellar, which I thought was decent. I've seen worse. I did watch Detention as well from 2011, which I know Lauren, I know you like.
I love Detention. I love Detention.
I know it's a little bit too self-aware for my liking, though. It's just too.
There's time traveling stuffed bear in a slasher movie.
Enough said. Yeah.
It was entertaining, but it was just a little bit too much for me.
Well, that movie doesn't slow down either. That's Whiplash, the motion picture. It's constantly just throwing you like big curveballs, and you can either ride with it or you don't. But I love that movie. I think that movie needs a lot bigger of an audience.
I don't think I've the artwork for it looks familiar, but I don't think I've seen it.
Oh no, you would not mistake whether you've seen it or not, so you haven't. It's nuts. I mean, this is a movie that just takes 10 minutes in the middle of it to explain a character's origin story, and when you find out what that is, it doesn't just change the whole movie. It's like something out of a Philip K. Dick short story. It's just in the middle of a slasher film. It's awesome.
That sounds cool. And I've never heard of A Quiet Place to Kill, but that's an Umberto Lindsay joint, so I do need to check that out. So
yeah, that's a great. The Lindsay box set is amazing.
Yeah, it's a Carol Baker film.
Yeah. I have one. I have not watched it yet, and this is a cheap plug for a friend, but Thrust from my friend Victor Bonacore, who I know from years back from my chiller days. Thrust, amazing cast. Aaron Brown or Misty Mundy for some of you Cinemax fans from back in the day. Linnea Quigley, Ellie Church. If you're a wrestling fan, you'll recognize Ace Austin, Jessica Havoc, several others. I'm really excited about it. It's a sort of post-apocalyptic girl gang flick, and Victor has a good eye for exploitation, and I think it's going to be a lot of fun.
Oh, cool. I'll have to add that one to the list.
Yeah, it's in post. I haven't heard anything about a release yet, but yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. Oh, Carly Jaws. Have you seen anything good lately?
Before we got on here, I was talking about Bloodhook. Just got done watching that a few hours ago, and that was really interesting. I really enjoyed that. And like I talked, like the request I sent for you to review The Fog, I watched that a few weeks ago, and I thought that was really good. And then I was like, oh, I'll watch the original, and I thought the original was garbage.
Wow. You're just full of hot takes, man. I like it. I like it, though. I like it. Keep them coming.
Let's see. I watched a bunch of movies today. I rewatched 3 from Hell. Really loved that. I saw that in the theater. I really enjoyed it. A lot of people shitted on 3 from Hell. And I don't understand why. I thought it was really good. Rewatched the Elm Street remake. Thought that was really good. I know a lot of people hated that movie too, but I loved it. I thought Jackie Earle Haley I think he did an amazing job. At some point I thought he was better than Robert Englund. And I know, that's really controversial, but I loved it.
I don't blame Jackie Earle Haley for that one. I just think it was bad writing, and just they were tweaking his. They were messing with that movie right up until it was released. So I mean,
and also I rewatched the Fright Night remake, and I loved the Fright Night remake. I thought that was better than the original film. I really did not like the original Fright Night. I thought that was really bad.
He's not kidding here. He's not playing a character. These are his real thoughts. These are his real feelings. He's not a character.
I like the Fright Night remake.
Whole hot take.
I don't mind the Fright Night remake. I actually think the Fright Night Part 2, the second Fright Night Part 2 they did, isn't bad at all either. I kind of enjoyed that one.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely prefer the original, but yeah, I thought the remake was a great cast. I mean, David Tennant, Anton Yelchin, and Toni Collette, of course. I think it's underrated. I like the remake.
There was one really cool part I remember about it, where the vampire can't hurt you unless you invite him in, right? Well, guess what? The vampire's going to burn your freaking house down around you. So nobody ever thought of that one. Like, you can't come in. Oh, well, I'm screwed then. I guess I'm going to go hungry for the rest of the night.
Can you imagine an old Hammer film where Christopher Lee just gets a can of gas and just
with his cape blowing in the wind? That'd been awesome.
Hell of an ending.
That would have been a hell of an ending, yeah. She runs right out into his arms and he just sinks his teeth in. That's awesome. So okay, cool. You've seen watched a lot of movies lately, Curly Jaws, but that's cool, man. Mm-hmm. That's cool. Let's see, Lauren, have you seen anything good lately?
Yeah, I have two things I want to talk about briefly.
Please.
Saw Everything Everywhere All at Once, which I liked, but I felt was way overstuffed. It's there's so much film there that you kind of get exhausted watching it at a certain point, and it's a longer film, and it's hyperactive, and it does a lot of really cool things, but it's almost too much good stuff in the container. I kind of wish that even stuff I liked had been trimmed simply to get this thing down to a running time that would have made it like dissolvable. Do I recommend watching it? Sure. It's not going to be for everyone, and that's cool. My favorite scene was the scene with the two rocks, and we'll leave it at that. The other film I saw today in the theater was Decad, which is an Indian action film, which is currently very controversial in India because it's way more sexual and way, way, way more violent than Indian cinema normally gets. I loved it. It's insane. There's a sequence at the end of the second act that takes place in a coal mine field, and it's basically a war battle scene, but it's the most intense action scene I've ever seen in my life. It's just nonstop for 20 minutes of just being beaten up as a viewer. And it's brutal, it's bloody, it's nasty. You feel every bullet that enters flesh, you feel. And the sound work on the scene is just like unfucking real. Like, it's just great. If you can get out to the theater this week, please do. If it's playing in your towns, it is playing in almost 600 screens across America right now. So if you have a Regal near you, you have a great chance that it's there. It's again very controversial with its target audience, so it's not probably going to be around very long.
Yeah, I was going to ask you because there's another Indian action film that came out, RRR. I'm assuming that's how you say it. And I heard that was just brilliant. I want to see it so bad.
Yeah, it's a historical action film, which is very popular subgenre in India. I have not seen that yet. That's a little bit tougher because if you don't know the pre-colonial history of India, sometimes those films are a little bit deep cuts for Western audiences.
Who doesn't? Who isn't aware of?
Yeah, I know some broad outlines, but I get lost real fast. So.
I heard that anybody that starves for 1980s badass action cinema that we would put out would really enjoy RRR. Again, it's not a personal recommendation because I haven't watched it, but some of the people reviewing that, I was amazed what they were giving it in terms of ratings. So it sounds like a good double.
Yeah. So, I mean, if you know, like, kind of the limitations of Indian cinema are weird because it's a very traditionalist society. And this movie opens with a intelligence agent, a female intelligence agent assassin standing in front of an open window in her underwear, preparing her arsenal to go attack a library.
Yeah, that's a no-no.
It's a pretty awesome flick. And I hope people give it a chance. If nothing else, please watch the trailer on YouTube. I think that'll be enough to sell you. I've never seen so many people die in a movie. This thing's body count has to be 3 times that of Total Recall, easily. Like, people die left and right. And I said this in the private chat, but I'm going to repeat it here. Agni makes John Wick look like a pussy, big time. Like, the shit she does in this movie is just crazy. It has some like absolutely outrageous shit that goes on that is like you're gonna be like, I can't believe they did that. That's crazy. Just plot maneuvers, and it does the one thing that I really love. It doesn't kill animals or children, but it does the other thing I really love, which is I love when the action heroes get beat the hell up, shot, stabbed, and they barely walk away bleeding at the end. I don't like the clean action hero, the kind of like Channing Tatum comes out of the White House at the end and he has one little scratch type of action film. Yeah, I like him to earn it. And this movie does that in spades. So, Decad, check it out. It's going to be on my year's best list, so check it out.
Oh, very cool. That reminds me of Die Hard with a Vengeance, when like Bruce Willis slides down that big cable and it like just rips his arm to pieces, and he's like pulling out like big chunks of it, like with his teeth out of his arm, and just blood everywhere. Like, I remember watching that thinking like, my God, I would have bled to death by now. How's he still going? I would have at least passed out. But yeah, it's Bruce Willis. You know, he's got the world to save.
That's my favorite Die Hard film.
I like it a lot. I like it a lot too.
I think repeat viewings make that thing like climb and climb, whereas every other Die Hard to a certain degree gets a little bit too familiar and safe. Even the original kind of like the edges kind of sandpaper a little bit. It's still a great film, but Vengeance actually just gets better and better.
That's where the Die Hard series ends for me.
Yeah,
there's only 3.
Yeah, there's only 2.
Oh goodness!
The second film is just the first film all over again in a different setting.
It's directed by Rennie Harlan.
Yeah,
it's got John. It's got
exactly.
It's got Who's the villain?
In 3, Jeremy.
Rennie Harlan is the
in
his time.
William Sadler.
Well, Sadler, yeah. And there's the other guy too from Third Rock from the Sun, the dad from Third Rock from the Sun. Wasn't he in the second one too?
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow. Yeah. Wasn't he in the second one?
I don't remember.
It's been a long.
Remembers the second Die Hard film.
We'll see. I'm like
it's not
a no. He was the bad guy in Cliffhanger.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I've gotten Cliffhanger and Die Hard. Yeah. I've got
good villain in Cliffhanger. I was a little confused there too, but that's the dad.
Yeah. I got those two confused. Maybe it's Cliffhanger I like better than Die Hard 2.
That's very possible.
Kind of saved Stallone's career. He needed a hit at that point.
He did. Yeah, he definitely did. Yeah. And then he did what was that Daylight movie?
Ooh.
I know a lot of people.
He did Demolition Man. He did Demolition Man '93 as well.
Yeah, '93 was a good year.
Demolition Man is a hilarious movie because people don't realize. Like a lot of people watch it as a straight action film, and it's just a satire.
Yeah, it's the Starship Troopers effect. Nobody really fully gets what they were doing.
It's certainly a satire now. Looking at 2022, it's become more and more of a realistic movie.
President's going to be bringing out the seashells any day now.
I love that. Let's do it. Let's bring it out. Yeah. Here's something I want to talk about. And why can't horror just be called horror anymore? Like there's a whole new, what is neo horror? That's the new thing. They're calling everything now neo horror. What is even, I asked on Twitter the other day, what exactly is neo horror? And somebody replied, I think it was you, Mike, that replied pretentious. And I was like, okay, that sounds about right.
It wasn't me.
Oh, I'm sorry. Somebody responded.
I said it was the Matrix Resurrections.
That is a horrible film.
That's a horror to watch. I'm sure. I've not seen it, but so I don't know why we can't just call everything. We can't just call horror. It's either got to be elevated horror, neo horror,
it's the fucking websites. They need to be able to write articles. That's what this is. I mean, I think Dan, you're like me. I think Piz, you're like me. Mike, I don't really care. Like a great elevated horror, if that's what we're gonna call. Okay, I love Saint Maud, but you know what? I also love the original Toolbox Murders, right?
Yeah.
And you know what? To me, their differences are not that important. They're the right stories that they needed to tell. They were using the right elements. That's cool. None of the Devils I watched a couple days ago. It's one of the sleaziest horror films you'll ever watch. I like that, but I also like The Woman in White, which is probably one of the classiest horror films ever made. I also, I turned you on to Spiral Staircase, one of the most elegant horror movies ever made. Isn't it just cool that the genre is so wide? Why don't we celebrate that rather than make all these separate little subgenres and pick at it?
There's something for everybody. Yeah, I mean, some of these articles now are just, not to call out specific websites, but most of them are just mind-numbingly stupid. Sometimes looking for deeper meanings in films where there really isn't any deeper meaning.
Have they actually named what films are neo-horror? Because when you come to giallo film, it comes in handy in terms of a giallo movie. If I want to explore giallo movies, it comes in handy if I can Google that and to see what the genre involves. But what actually constitutes neo horror? Like, what movies come under that
That was my
umbrella?
question. Yeah.
Well, I forgot. There's also something called post horror, because at some point the horror genre died, and now it's post horror.
Well, that's just stupid. So I'm not going to use post horror.
So according to Google, neo-horror, the term itself was defined by Mark Conrad as any film coming after the classic noir period that contains noir themes and noir sensibilities. And here is the list of 13 best neo... Oh, wait a minute. That's neo-noir. Where's the neo-horror? See, Google doesn't even know what neo-horror is. Well,
I think it's an attempt to just say to a certain audience, a younger audience that is growing up with a certain amount of sensitivity to social issues, that these are films that will appeal to them. It's their sensibilities. I think that's all it really is. And I don't want us to use like a word like woke because that's too simple. I think something like It Follows could very well much be considered a neo-horror if you wanted to say that. But to me, again, it's pointless. Like the right story with the right elements, I don't really care. Just give me good and I'll be happy. Mm-hmm. Or give me really bad that I enjoy and I'll be happy. But the middle of the road crap, which is what we basically get on America's big screens right now, is what drives me nuts. Like the safe, like we think this film will hit the target demographic. Don't make it for a target demographic. Please stop. Make the good film.
Yeah,
that's it.
There's good horror films, and then there's Blumhouse. Let's just keep it simple.
I think you know. I mean, because back in the day, remember, if it was a horror movie that had an A-list actor in it, it was a thriller. We can't call it a horror movie now. It's a thriller.
Yeah, infamously, both Changeling and Ghost Story came out, and they were twisting themselves in knots to use the word horror in the advertising for either of those films. They're both obviously ghost stories. They're obviously in the Gothic tradition, but they refuse.
Yeah. Didn't they do that with Silence of the Lambs? They didn't want to call it a horror. The Academy did not want to call it a horror movie. They said it's a thriller.
Yeah, because they were going to give it Oscars, and they can't give a horror movie an Oscar.
No.
Would you define that as a horror film, though? I think it's more like a suspense film.
What now? I'm sorry?
Silence of the Lambs. I don't think that's really...
Well, it depends. Everyone's going to define this differently. I think everyone knows my definition. If the movie's intent is to unsettle, disturb, disgust, draw you into gallows humor, that's all horror is to me. Is it's the range of emotions that it evokes. And I think Silence of the Lambs hits about 7 of them, you know, so I think it's fine to be included in the genre. In fact, to be honest with you, of the key Lecter films, like that to me is Manhunter, Silence of the Lambs, and Hannibal, because the rest are just extraneous to me. Of those 3, I'd say that Silence is actually kind of the most traditional horror of the bunch. Yeah. So, I mean, to me, it's roundly there, but people get freaked out, you know? I mean, horror has to mean something specific. I've heard people say that Jaws isn't a horror movie, which is just pure madness. Mm. That movie terrified a nation. The word terror is used twice on the freaking poster. It's a horror film. Just grow up. It doesn't have to be like this one thing.
I think that one is like the monster idea. There's a monster, even though it's not a traditional, like, monster. It's a monster movie. It's a shark, but it's made as like a monster film.
And like all great horror films, there's if a horror film is going to be successful, it has to connect with you in some real way. Like you look at your life and there's a connection there, and that's why like you have to have Brody, and you have to have the kids, and you have to have the attack in the lagoon. Because you have to personalize that story. You have to have it be a story about 3 men of very different generations on a boat trying to hunt a monster.
Yeah.
We get afraid to let horror, like the basic storytelling that created the genre, we almost like shy away from it and feel embarrassed about it, which is insane. The horror genre is the longest lasting, purest tragedy from the historical Greek drama. I mean, there's nothing that's been as directed and not polluted as the horror genre. We should be cherishing it, but instead we get afraid to call Silence of the Lambs a movie about a serial killer helping a FBI agent find another serial killer a horror film. You know?
So I'm on a website called Expose, so it's trying to define neo horror, and they've come up with basically Get Out and Mother as neo horror. But this is a website that describes Bye Bye Man and It Follows as abominable. So fuck that website. Because if they're gonna fuck that website, man.
Well, see, they can't. The people who were using the term can't even properly define it. So I mean, yeah.
I mean, I know Lord's not a fan of It Follows, but if It Follows is not abominable by any stretch of the imagination. To me, I mean,
yeah, to me, it's not a successful film, but it's not. I would never say it's like on the lower quartile of bad horror films. No.
They've described Empty Man in the same bracket as well as abominable. Sure. But Mother, really?
I enjoyed Mother the one time I watched it. I'll never revisit it. But they see that's the cool thing about the genre. For someone else, that is a film that was life-changing for them. That's awesome. Piz and I go back and forth about the same 4 titles that we disagree with, but honestly, most of the time we agree. Hardcore pretty much agree. Mm. The truth is, like, the things that we see differently are what make us be able to have like interesting conversations. If we all just agreed, fuck that world.
Yeah, I agree.
No, absolutely. Difference of opinions, what we need more than ever. And guys, I can tell you, again, not naming names, but some of these websites, they are paid. They get money.
Oh, absolutely.
So whatever you read, take it with a grain of salt. I've been a part of one that was a little sketchy. So
can we all remember Bloody Disgusting's Blair Witch review, saying it was the scariest movie ever made?
Yeah.
What? No.
Well, and then I think those
clearly paid off.
Well, I think they scrubbed the website of all mention of that since. So, but yeah, I remember that. Yeah, it's the scariest movie of all time, and yeah, didn't quite live up to
Blair Witch film of all time. It was the 3rd scariest Blair Witch film of all time.
Yeah.
What about this movie Men? Anybody know what that's all about?
Well, actually, I was going to segue into Men because I'm sure it's being called a neo horror film, but I'm seeing a lot of pushback from that film in social media platforms where I'm surprised I'm seeing the kind of pushback. Like, people are calling it too preachy and too woke, and I'm like, on Twitter, like, here's
is that available in the? It's not available in the UK until next week, is it? Have you guys got it now?
Yeah.
Here's something from the Guardian website. The Guardian.
Guardian.
Okay, the Guardian in high. The Guardian is the most woke newspaper in the history of woke newspapers.
Well, this perfectly proves my point. Then the Guardian is super woke, but even the Guardian is calling Alex Garland's Men. Alex Garland's blunt new film Men targets toxic masculinity, the latest in an increasingly tiring trend of horror movies that play more like dissertations. So if the Guardian is getting on you for being too woke,
it's got to be woke as hell.
So I don't know, because the synopsis I read of it, that would be a very surface. That would be a very surface reading of the plot. So I'm still excited to say it.
For what it's worth, I've not watched it. I know a couple people that did, and they say no. There's number one, it's A24. I'd be a little more worried if it was Blumhouse, because they just 99% of the time don't know how to tell a good story with any subtlety. Black Christmas is the great offender there. Man is A24, and I have faith. You can get across whatever message you want if you have good writing. So maybe it's woke and maybe it's good if it's A24, but I'm curious to see it. I wish I gone today and I could give you a definitive answer. But yeah, Ben, I saw you talking about it on our Discord. Yeah.
So I like Alex Garland.
Yeah,
as a filmmaker. But yeah, that kind of puts some pause into me, because like if people on Twitter are talking about it being too preachy and too, you know what I mean, whatnot, and then the Guardian talking about it being too preachy, it's like, whoa, how preachy is this thing? But anyway, according to Nico, he says it's not woke. He just says it's not, it didn't quite work for him. And according to Ben Grimm, he saw it last week and he still hasn't decided if he likes it or not. So
I'm sure it's interesting, if nothing else. A24 will have an occasional miss, but there are always at least interesting films that we could probably all sit and talk about for an hour, whether we liked it or not. Can't do that with a Bloom film.
Yeah, I don't think I'm interested enough to go to the theater to see it, but I'll watch it when it comes to the video. But Black Christmas was one of the worst in your face.
Yeah.
That was awful. I've never. A lot of times I can tolerate a message like that, but that was so in your face and bad. The message was the first and foremost thing in that movie before a good film. That should never be.
Yeah.
Should make a good film first with a message. It's so much more impactful.
Sure.
Well, I mean, what we were talking about, I mean, Mike brought up how, you know, the horror websites were really simping for the Blair Witch before it came out. They were doing the same thing for Black Christmas 09, and then once it dropped, they were gone.
Can you imagine the simping for they them that's going to happen?
Well, they've changed the title. It's no longer called they them.
All right. Okay.
It's called Whistler Camp now.
All right.
Because when I want to go see a horror movie,
that puts butts in seats.
Yeah. According to IMDb, it is no longer called they them. It's called Whistler Camp. But I think that has to be an answer to, because I mean they've just the synopsis of that film has turned off everybody. Like nobody's going to go watch that movie.
See, Kevin Bacon is always disowned.
Curly Jaws going to see.
Kevin Bacon has always, distanced himself from Friday the 13th. So how much money are they paying him to be in this film?
Well, he has and he hasn't. I mean, part of it is he wasn't asked for a long time.
Yeah.
He was, after Footloose, he was an A-list star, and it was always considered kind of like impolite to talk about Friday to him directly. But then he went on what was one of the big, one of the late night shows just asked him outright, and he was very kind of cool about it. Dismissive, like all the original cast were, until they could make money on the convention circuit. But no, I think the thing is the world's changed, right? And if you're an older star now, you have very little ways to reach the 22-year-old today. Someone like they consider Kevin Bacon an old man,
right?
So you take what's offered to you if they'll pay you, and maybe there's something in the project that interests you. And even if it's not, even if you think the film won't be good, if you can come out looking good and make some money, I don't envy aging stars in modern film. It's not an easy place to be. I mean,
no.
Unless you're Tom Cruise, you're not getting the A-list call anymore.
Yeah. You
have to be like one of those Marvel guys. Tom Holland can be in anything he wants. Well, great, but is he a good actor? I'm going to leave that out there. I'll let you guys decide, but I don't think he's not a De Niro. He's not a Christopher Walken. He's not, he's not of that level to me.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. I mean, I don't know what the purpose of that. I mean, like, is it a straight horror movie? Is it a satire? It takes place at a conversion camp where the killer is.
I don't think it would be allowed to be a satire. I think that would be too controversial.
Yeah, either way they go with it, it's going to be controversial.
I've done a lot of crapping on Blum, but The Hunt,
mm-hmm.
that's one of the few examples of them doing it right.
The Hunt was great.
Look, most of what they put out is crap, and I've been criticized for being overly harsh, but I stand by it. Most of what they put out is just bland garbage. Hey, we're talking about it, and that's probably the point. I can't see them actually going to theater screens with they them. In fact, I think Lauren, you were talking about it a while back.
It's like a Hulu exclusive, I think.
Yeah, I mean, they them. That's not going to play. It just look, not offering any opinion on it. That's just not going to play in a lot of regions. Nobody's going to go see it. So I think they probably always intended to change the title.
Yeah.
I think it's manufactured controversy, and you know what? Hey, it may be really good. I don't have any opinion on it. If you want to tell a horror story set in a conversion camp, great. We'll see. Kevin Bacon hasn't had a good record with horror recently. His last one was not very good at all.
Yeah.
So hope for the best. Hey, if you want to tell that story in a conversion camp, hey, let's go for it. Everybody's going to complain about it no matter what.
Can you bring up Jamie's comment at 8:57?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up here shortly.
But I do want to say it's a slasher film. So of course, if it's in a conversion camp, you're going to have gay characters who are going to get killed like any other slasher film. So,
and I mean, these aren't going to be the first gay characters to die in a slasher film.
No, of course not. Halloween Kills just recently. So, that's a slasher film. That's equality.
Yeah.
Well, Michael's homophobic now, apparently.
Yeah, he's very.
All right, let's see. So Jamie said, well, I have to ask if every movie that's about toxic masculinity is going to be considered woke. I mean, no one is allowed to say anything or send a message. Here's the thing. It's about how you send that message. If you can send that message in a way that makes me think like, maybe I'm toxic sometimes. But when the message is literally the movie pointing at you and going, you right there. Yeah, you watching this movie. You suck. You're awful. You're horrible. You're a piece of crap. Just based on the color of your skin and what's dangling between your legs. That to me is like, well, F you. I'm not going to watch that. I'm not going to support that. Screw you. That's bad writing. If you can make me think and feel in a nuanced way, I'm all for it. That's great. I love those kind of messages, not the, you're bad because you were born a man.
That's what I was trying to say earlier. Like, make a good movie first and deliver a message.
Yeah.
It's better. It's more impactful. The only movie I ever felt like it was in your face was Black Christmas 2019. That's the only one I've ever walked away from like, that was hot garbage. It was the first, and I've heard the director say herself that her intention was to make that message and then a good movie. Like that was the top of the priority list. Make a message and then make a movie. Where I think it should be the other way around. You should make a good film, good story, and deliver a message. Whatever the message is, don't.
Well, and I hate the argument of, well, there's always been messages in horror movies. Mm-hmm. Yeah, there has. Mm-hmm. The difference is those messages were part of a great freaking story. Not just, they were part of the story, not the entire story.
There are films right now where some people do overuse woke, but I'll give a non-horror example, but there's an episode of a recent Star Trek where, and if you know Star Trek, future, humanity's kind of gotten over all of its shit with each other. There's a character that corrects another character about her pronouns. It's the most cringy thing I've ever seen, and I grew up on Star Trek. Like, it's a very hopeful. We still have problems out there with other species, but humanity kind of came together and got it right. And that is that Black Christmas level of cringe. Again, it depends on the storyteller. A24 is not exactly right wing, and I love almost all their movies. So again, I wish I had saw Men before this show, and I could say, my guess does it right.
The problem I've with Black Christmas 2019 is it was so in your face. The message was so forceful and just so unsubtle.
Oh,
But it was aimed. The message was aimed. It was like the movie was made for people who don't watch horror movies. It was like the movie was made for like a small percentage of the people on Twitter who get offended by any little thing and every little thing. And like these people don't consume physical media. These people are not going to watch your movies. So you're alienating the 95% of the people who would spend the money on your product to appease the 5% of the people who have got no interest in spending money on your product, which is just insane. You can't run a company like that.
No, it's a good point. You have to be conscious of who is, particularly streaming services right now, who's actually paying that subscription. You look at Netflix right now. There was some stuff they greenlit. There's a percentage of people that might want to watch it, but it's a very tiny percentage, and an even smaller percentage of people paying for Netflix. I don't want to call it out or start any kind of a fight, but you look at some recent things. Nobody wants that crap, and to me, you have to go back to delivering what people want. Look at how Game of Thrones, that's a good example. Look at how, and I think that's overall a great show, but look at season 1 to the end. They definitely hold back on certain things from, the start, which was like watching, practically a porno film at times versus the finale. They cut back a lot.
Yeah.
And, there's a few comments in the chat. Nothing wrong with the little blood, boobs, and beasts every now and again. I'm not just an elevated or I guess neo horror guy now. I do like a lot of garbage and exploitation films, and just have fun with it. There's stuff out there for everybody. There really is. But be clever about it if you're going for a message.
And I know Lauren has something to say, but I want to throw this in too. I do agree that the term woke gets thrown around way too much.
It does. Yeah.
There's dozens of channels on YouTube where everything is woke, and their whole business is woke, and their whole gimmick is woke, and it's a term that gets thrown around way too much. I hope we're I hope we're toward the end of it, to be honest. But I mean, I don't know. But it is a term that gets thrown around way too much, to the point where what even it's like neo horror. What's the define? What's the definition of it? You know what I mean? But go ahead, Lauren.
So my core issue with all this stuff is that I am 100% against censorship in any form, whether it comes from a government, whether it comes from a company, whether it comes from your neighbor just trying to shout you out. I think that everyone has a valid voice in almost every subject. And the thing is, there's something to be said about toxic masculinity. Now, the problem is, once we get that bumper sticker phrase, it already loses its impact and becomes just a kind of a political football. So is the world at its worst when it's run strictly by men, like exclusionary and divisive and demeaning? Yeah, of course it is. And there's a story to be told using those elements. But on the other hand, the world of explicitly woke, and again, that word, bumper sticker, it loses all of its authenticity immediately. When you try and create something that's intentionally woke or anti-racist or whatever, find your buzzword that you're comfortable with. You run the risk of losing the art of storytelling. I can tell you from the creative standpoint, the first thing you come up with usually in the process is characters and conflict. And then the themes start to reinforce where that story should go, and it starts to shape those characters. It just starts to build. Modern filmmaking is not done that way. That's why we have 7 writing credits on a fucking Final Destination movie. Right? I mean, come on. You could hire one guy to write that movie and you'd be fine. But the truth is, they just keep layering in things that they think, oh, the audience will like this, so slam that in there. Hey, that dialogue needs to be in there. Hey, kids are listening to this artist, let's get them on the soundtrack. And it becomes a product in a pure sense. And all this stuff, whether it's toxic masculinity or woke or anti-woke or whatever it is, all becomes this kind of this like garish tarnish that's put on top of a beautiful piece of art until it's no longer a beautiful piece of art. And it's just kind of this ugly freaking family heirloom that you refuse to get rid of because it meant something to someone at some point. And now you need to defend it. And you can't look at the fact that it's ugly and admit it's ugly anymore. So you walk into your house and you see your toxic masculinity or your woke or your anti-woke or whatever it is, piece of furniture sitting there. And if someone says, why do you still have that thing? You say, oh, you don't like my furniture? What's wrong with you? Are you anti-furniture? And it's silly, right? And that's the whole point. It's like my example is silly because the whole issue is silly. Truthfully, movies are not going to fix the problems of the world. They're not. So it becomes about creating an echo chamber of paying customers. And don't we think that's kind of just ugly? Like, so take a film like Assault on Precinct 13, the original. It has a message, but the message comes out of us, right? It has themes that if you think about them long enough, you'll start to get a message. But the message isn't in the movie. The themes are in the movie because they're built into the characters, the drama, and the conflict. The creative process works for that film, so we don't worry about its message being too pronounced. In fact, I'd argue the message cannot be made too pronounced in something like that. I've said it a million times. Halloween is a dumb slasher film about a very real problem for 1977, 78, depending when he made or released, right? It's about the first time Americans had seen like urban violence on their television sets, and it was close to home. And that became a guy with a blank face with a knife because that's what people were fearing at that moment. The original Cat People is a movie about modern civilization having to deal with the fact that female sexuality was not limited to the roles of, mother, wife, or prostitute, right? But that's in the movie, but it's a great movie on its own because the themes develop the story. So where I'm going with this, and I'll just cut to it because I know you guys don't want to hear me talk anymore, but is that when we get to the point where we're talking about films and being woke or not, here's the thing. A film like Heathers has definitely all the characteristics of everything we're talking about, but it also just kicks ass, right? Mm-hmm. So that's what we need to get back to. Movies that kick ass, that know where the entertainment, lane is, and stay in that fucking lane. All this other garbage just separates us and makes us argue about crap. So if you're out there and you love Black Christmas, the last one, cool on you. I'm happy for you. I've not seen it. I'm not going to change that. I don't think it's probably for me. But please, don't go yelling about like, oh, well, you just guys hate anything that's woke. Or conversely, hey, you guys are just Neanderthals that just want to see tits on screen. If a film's a good film and we enjoy it, that's good enough.
Yeah, right on.
End of sermon.
Well said. Very well said. However, you have you've definitely stirred up some stuff because we have got two of the biggest SJWs I've ever seen in my life in the green room, and I'm going to bring them on. This is going to turn into a pure debate here. We've got woke Chris in here. He looks very angry by your tirade, Lauren. And we've
very
got
angry.
And we've got Mr. Bombastic, aka Mr. SJW. How you doing, man?
First of all, Lauren.
He is so angry that it is absorbing all of his bandwidth into his rage. What was that again?
Wow.
It's not good now. It's not funny now. It's over.
How are you doing, Jonathan?
Can you guys actually hear me?
We can hear
right
you
now.
We can hear you. Yeah.
Okay.
We could hear you.
We
Didn't you?
could.
Wait,
Wait,
can you
I'll
do
be
that
back.
again? I want to turn on my guitar tuner and see if we can get you in tune. Is that like do re mi fa?
Let
How about
me
now?
ask. That's a better.
Okay.
How's it? That's better. What's going on, man?
Okay. Nothing, man. Actually, how good.
There it goes. There we go. There
Damn it!
That was B flat.
I swear I'm not doing anything.
That's what I was gonna bring up.
Ah,
Nice.
And I don't even know if anybody can see
Stay
it.
there. Stay there.
We can see you. We can see it.
yeah, we saw it.
See,
We
you
saw
can't
it.
hear you very well.
Oh, we're showing off our Jason tats all of a sudden. Wow.
Mine is on my ass, and I don't want to get this stream pulled. So
I've got a
You
tramp
know
stamp.
what the right eye hole is.
I've got
Yeah,
a
there
tramp
you go.
stamp of Roy. No, I'm not showing that off. That's just for
Oh, you
That's
gotta
just for
show us.
that's just for special occasions.
Pull it out, man.
Patreon.
There you go.
Yes,
Yeah,
that's
it's on the-
exclusive. That's a
it's on
new
the-
tier.
Yeah, you get to see the
The tramp
Roy
stamp tier.
tramp stamp. Yeah. How you doing, Walt, Chris?
I'm pretty good, man. I'm woke.
You're in the wrong place.
Chris ain't
Dave.
wrong.
You're in the wrong place. All right. Because we
Sorry.
are
Chris ain't
we
wrong.
are Neanderthal. Okay, get out of here, SJW. Don't you have a Foot Locker to burn down somewhere?
Why do we hate Foot Locker?
No, but good to see you, Chris. Everything
You
going good
too.
with you?
Yeah, pretty good. Had a rough week, but it's getting better.
Well, good. That's good. That's good. Glad that it's getting better. And Jonathan, I hope maybe your connections leveled out. Is the tattoo new? Did you just get that ink recently?
Yeah, I just walked in from getting it.
Oh wow. Okay, so still a little sore then, huh?
Oh yeah, it was my first one.
Oh wow. Okay.
Wow.
That's a pretty big one too for a first timer.
Yeah, Jonathan doesn't do anything half measure.
No. I have to go back and get it finished tomorrow because I'm an idiot.
I got
I
about
took a baby
115.
aspirin this morning,
A
so
baby
I have to go back because
Ouch.
Okay, I think I can decipher that. He took a baby aspirin this morning and he was bleeding too heavily for them to finish. Is that it?
yeah.
That was it. That was it.
Yeah, it's the baby aspirin, clearly.
Wow, we've talked about a lot. Let's see. Did anybody check out the new? And I know we're jumping around here. Is there any interest in Thor: Love and Thunder? Did anybody see that trailer today? I want to talk about that trailer for a minute. Go ahead.
That looks
woke?
amazing. That looks like it's going to be really good.
I heard it was gonna be woke.
Well, it'll be right up your alley then, Chris, if it is.
Woke as fuck.
I'm not a big Marvel guy, but that trailer to me just looked like a cartoon with like Christian Bale as like some scary devil character that looked cool. And then I was thinking like, what the hell is Christian Bale doing in this? But I'm sure they paid him about $30 million. But that trailer, it looked like a cartoon to me.
Well, Christian Bale had to go
In
to
a good
Marvel
way?
because he's not Batman no more. So
Still, can't they give him his own thing? Make him like make him. Oh well, no. There's already make him Silver Surfer. Christian Bale Silver Surfer. Can you imagine that? Wow, that's
Screaming at people in that outfit would be
exactly. Yeah,
really entertaining.
yeah.
So that's gonna be a full CGI character. I think he wanted to do something where he can wear funny makeup.
Lose a bunch of weight.
Yeah.
That man is the master at gaining and losing weight. I don't know how he does it. I mean, it's just like he must starve himself, and then he's back at, I don't know, McDonald's 5 times a day.
He looked like a refugee in The Machinist.
He looked dead. He looked like a cadaver.
Legitimately, like you just rolled him out of the coroner's table. I mean, it was stunning. If you've ever watched The Machinist, oh my god, commitment. You can never take that away from that man.
It's like he brought it. It's like he brought himself as close to death as possible and was like, "Okay, I'm ready to shoot."
Here's the thing, though. Like
Plays a skeleton.
when Christian Bale does it, we claim he's he's this amazing artist and a professional. When a teenage girl does it, we send him away to a fucking camp.
Either puking in the sink or punching you in the throat. There's no in between with that guy. He's just intense.
Let's do something real quick. I almost forgot. Thank you, Aaron, for reminding me. Aaron has got a digital copy of X that he wants to give away.
Yeah.
So, of course, the new Ty West film that just came out on Blu-ray. Aaron has been so nice as to offer up a digital code of that film to one lucky winner. Now, do you have a trivia question, Aaron?
I don't, as usual. I always put you on the spot. I'm sorry.
Okay, let's see. Let's come up with a good one.
I got one. I got a question. All right. What is Old Curly Jaws' favorite horror film?
Street Trash.
Black Christmas.
The last thing he saw.
Oh Jesus! Wish I had my horror, my Friday the 13th trivia game here nearby.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. That'd be...
All right, I'm gonna find something. I'll find something good here. Hold on one second.
I've got one if you have trouble.
Go ahead. Shoot it, man. Shoot it.
All right. Name the only actor to play both Leatherface and Dracula.
Wow.
I assume this is in the chat, so.
Yeah, I'm looking.
Chester 22. I love student bodies.
I love
Andrew
student bodies.
Bernarski.
That is the correct answer. I don't know who would have gotten it first.
Oh wow!
I don't think I think you actually won it, Jonathan.
Just Bernarski play Dracula. Now I need to see this.
Andrew Bernarski played Dracula, really?
Yeah, Dracula's. Yeah, I can't remember the title of the movie, but he did. I have it.
Wow! Holy
Dracula's
crap.
Guest,
Holy
I
crap.
believe, or something.
Oh, that's the exercised third chapter of Dracula.
Yeah, he played Dracula, very jacked Dracula.
Wow, that's crazy. All right, this is just for the audience, though. This is going to be an easy one, though. What is the name of the actual demon that possessed Reagan in the novel by William Peter Blatty? Not the movie, because in the movie it's the devil. They just call it the devil.
It's not, though. You didn't watch the opening sequence well enough.
Well, but in the movie they just say
We can't play.
the demon says it's the devil.
Yeah, but
What
then there's
is the
that
name?
line. There's that line that says you have to understand that every kook that calls himself Hitler, right?
Let's see who's going to get it first. My eyes on the chat. Not poo-poo, but close. Very close. Joe Cool. According to what I see here, Joe Cool has got it. Pazuzu. That is correct. Pazuzu. And of course, if you saw the excellent Exorcist 2, you heard that name referenced about 98 times. So
even I can't defend The Exorcist 2. That movie's garbage.
Well, hell yeah, it is.
Wow. Okay. All right. So Joe Cool, send me a message on social media. I'll get in touch with Aaron to get me that code, and I'll send it to you, man. Congratulations.
Good job.
Yeah.
Well done. Yeah. And X is awesome. If you've not seen X,
Great
flick.
movie.
Go see it. Well, buy it now because it's on physical media. So
Yes. And for the record, I am not recommending Andrew Bernarski's Dracula. So.
At some point, I'm going to need someone to explain the pitchfork murder in X to me. But other than that, it's a great film.
Pitchfork murder. Oh, okay. I know what you're talking about. Okay.
It makes zero sense, but whatever.
I know what you're talking about.
It looks good. It just doesn't make any sense.
As long as it looks good, right?
I'm really excited for the prequel.
Yeah, I am too.
Is there a release date on it? I don't remember.
I think just next year. I don't know if they've given a official date yet.
I think it's direct to streaming too. I don't think it's theatrical.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know.
Yeah,
That's a
cool.
shame.
Well,
Okay.
it's made for like $250,000 at the same time as the first.
Well, thanks for hanging out with us tonight, Aaron. I know you got to run, man. Have a good night.
Yeah, I appreciate it. You guys have a good night.
Good
Take
night,
care,
man.
Later, man.
See you, bub.
So yeah, well, at least we're getting a prequel to it. It looks pretty good. So the more Ty West, the better, in my opinion. And hopefully now that X has been, has proved to be a profitable theatrical release for him, he'll get some more theatrical releases in the future. So
He's got to stick with a company like A24 that believes in him. That's what it comes down to.
I agree. Yeah,
Because the big
hopefully
guys
he
aren't going to do it.
Hopefully he does. Yeah. Anybody played the new Evil Dead game yet?
I've not played it, but Kruger at Flesh Wound, he has been streaming it on our Twitch, and it looks fun. I haven't played video games since N64, so I think I'd be useless at this point. But yeah, Kruger said it's just a ton of fun.
Yeah, I saw a trailer and it looks sick as hell.
Yeah,
I watched some gameplay.
I've had a lot of people like, "Oh, buy it, man." But I don't know. I probably will eventually. I've not been much of a gamer since really Friday the 13th, the game. So I don't know. I know we've got that coming out. We've got the new Texas Chainsaw Massacre game coming out. So I don't know. We'll see what happens. But yeah.
Does anybody know if the single player is anything on that, or if it's all just multiplayer?
I believe there's a campaign mode, I think.
Yeah, he said you can play as evil, and I guess that's like singular. If I make no sense, again, I'm not a gamer. Or you can play with like 4 people, something to that effect. But I was watching a little bit of it while he was streaming the other day, and it's pretty damn cool. I was tempted when everyone was playing Friday the 13th, and this kind of tempted me as well. It looked amazing.
I think Leatherface is going to be the big one. Oh, sorry.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Listen, I think Texas Chainsaw Massacre is going to be a lot bigger deal when it comes out.
Well, it's from the same people who did Friday the 13th the game, and it looks a lot like Friday the 13th the game. So
yeah, and they're really good at getting like fan service. I guess that's the word you'd use, but the details, where the layout and all the little references.
Yeah.
Like that was everywhere in Friday the 13th. So I imagine it's the same with these two.
What's so interesting is like I played the game a ton. So like when you go back and you revisit the movies, you really see they nailed like every little detail. Like in the
stuff I didn't even notice.
Yeah, like in the Higgins Haven house and in Pinehurst. I mean, they really like did an excellent job with those maps, making them look just like the movie.
It said the Friday the 13th game never got, the Jason X map or the Takes Manhattan map because of the whole lawsuit thing.
Yeah. There's some like indie people who are doing like their own mods to it, where they have created the Jason X, the Grindel map, and they've made Jason X a playable character, and they're trying to do stuff with it.
Just the character, or do they have it actually in space now? Because that would be cool.
Well, there's the map. The map. Yeah, the map is just a ship. You're in the ship.
Oh, okay.
But there is a section that is like the hologram of like Crystal Lake 87 or 80. So
nice.
Yeah. So I don't know. Big Crack Rock is playing it. He had some glitches. Well, some glitches can be expected. It's a new game. They'll hopefully get those ironed out.
It was when it launched. Couldn't get a game forever.
Oh, in Friday the 13th game, yes, it was incredibly buggy. When honestly, it was buggy throughout, but in the beginning, my God, a mess. There are 6 campaign missions, more to come. So there's 6 missions you can play just solo offline, and then of course they got the multiplayer modes So we lost somebody, didn't we? Oh yeah, we lost Jonathan. Yeah. Here's a good question. Piz, does a couple bad frames on a 4K ruin it for you? Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer Arrow. It didn't for me, just a repeated shot. No, it doesn't ruin it. Which I'm waiting to get my replacement discs from Arrow before I review that thing. But what sucks is having to wait. I know they recently did like the application thing where you can fill it out and get your replacement disc. So hopefully they'll be here relatively soon. But no, I mean, a couple of bad frames don't ruin it for me. I mean, and even in some of the best 4K releases, I mean, there's little areas where you'll see, I think it's called artifacting, where like if something's moving really quickly, you'll see like little things, like not necessarily pixels, but just, it just happens. I think it's with some and like with some movies, they can only do, it's only going to look as good as the source print or as the source material for the restoration. So if they've got kind of a ragged, print that they're working from, it's going to look ragged. Kind of like, oh goodness, what was it? Girls Night Out. Girls Night Out looks, it's the best Girls Night Out's ever looked, but it's from a print of the film that was, put in somebody's garage for the past 40 years. So it's got some damage on it. Or like Madman is the same thing, It looks great, but there's damage there, and a good portion of the movies just happens to be out of focus, but it looks great otherwise. We got our boy Garrett's in the chat. What's up, Garrett? Popped in on my way home from work, and it says, "Is Lorne woke?" LOL. What did I miss? Yeah, so I posted a poll in the chat. Is Lorne woke? And 52% of our audience believes that he is woke. Wow, I'm shocked by that. I'm shocked by those numbers.
That cements it, kind of, don't it?
I think that cements it. Yeah, that cements it.
There's a couple hanging chads out there that we're waiting on, though.
But we hope you're doing well, Garrett. Anything else on your guys? Well, I didn't ask Chris. Have you seen anything good lately?
Just a Firestarter. Which
did you like it?
I mean, I thought it was fine. I know Dan likes it a lot too. I think it's his favorite movie of the year, but
no,
I mean, I don't know. It wasn't great, but it wasn't offensive or anything. It was, me and my wife watched it and we enjoyed it. I think the girl reminded me of my niece, so I got a pretty big, like, easy attachment to the main character through that. I don't know if that's flowering it or not, but I don't know. I didn't think it was horrible. And then I watched The Sadness.
I really want to see that film.
I mean, why is there? I don't understand why everybody's freaking out. Like, I mentally prepared like I was going to watch the Serbian film. And it's just an over the top, like it's like Brain Dead almost. I don't understand why people are acting like it's the most gruesome film ever. Like, I don't know.
I mean, you're probably just incredibly desensitized because you're so woke.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of people aren't on that level, and when
I've seen a lot. I'm pretty enlightened.
When they see blood orgies and necrophilia, they're going to be turned off. Okay, for you, that's all good.
Is that it? Is that there's like baby stuff and sex stuff? I guess because the gore was just comedic almost, and everything I've heard was like it's real shit, and it's just like, I mean, they stabbed somebody and blood was spraying up out of the neck.
That's in the trailer. That's in the trailer, and it's so over the top. I
mean,
really
I
want to see
liked
the
it.
film, but
I liked it a lot. I thought the comedy was kind of interrupting the tension a lot, but I don't know.
For you graphic novel fans out there, Garth Ennis' The Cross which has the most brutal stuff I have ever seen in a graphic novel. That's very much what The Sadness is. Now, it doesn't hit those levels. I don't think anything could hit those levels. I mean, I'll just say the dolphin scene, if you know. But yeah, it's very much that story. I liked it a lot. I don't think it's the most brutal movie ever made, but I know a lot of people have Shudder that are, younger, newer horror fans, and that might be their cherry popper for extreme horror, which is kind of cool.
And I'm not dissing it. I liked it a lot. I prepared for something and did not get it. I was kind of just like, okay.
Yeah. Some people need the trigger warning. Some people definitely don't. But some people need the trigger warning, I think, for that one.
Yeah.
Wait. The movie is called The Sadness. If you want a comfortable experience, maybe that is the trigger warning right there.
Yeah.
Well, but see, I think a lot of people are thinking it's like, oh, it's another zombie movie. Cool. Let's watch another zombie movie.
Listen. You know what? Real people didn't go through any of that. I don't know. You see, you have a poll about me being woke, but I'm the guy saying put it on screen. If it's not real, who cares?
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
I mean, if someone's going to get upset to the point where they're going to have like actual problems in their life because of a newsflash, they already had those problems. So whatever. There's nothing we can't put bubble wrap around everyone for all times. And by the way, like I remember these same arguments about movies that now we think are as like tame enough to be broadcast on regular television. Mm-hmm. So I think it's about perspective. I like The Sadness. It was fine. It didn't shock me at all, really. But I thought it was fine. It wasn't. I don't know. Will it end up on my top 10 of the year? Probably not. I'm thinking right now, but by the same rate, I think it's definitely something people should watch. And if they do get moved by it, if they get put out of their comfort space, that's what horror is supposed to do. It's the horror genre. Mm. Get the fuck off Shudder if you want comfortable movie experience.
That's what Disney Plus for.
It's what any of the other services are for, right? There's one that's not. So I don't know. I don't get the like rush to be comfortable in this genre. It's a weird thing to me. I'd rather come out being really disturbed and say I wish I hadn't watched something because it disturbed me, which doesn't happen a lot, but it has occasionally happened. Aftermath is one of those movies that afterwards I was like, I could probably have done without that. But I'd rather that because at least that's what we're trying to explore with this stuff, right? I don't know.
Well, I think it's a different kind of person that gets mad at a movie. If I see a movie that makes me uncomfortable, I don't get mad at the streaming service showing it, the person who made it, the actors. Like, I don't watch it again. I go on with my life.
I want horror to be more safe. I think that's what I'm going to start. That's the hashtag I'm starting. Make horror safe again. I want more PG-13 horror.
I think you need to. Yeah, I think that's called pussified horror, right?
Listen, I listen. This is the new neo horror. This is neo horror, safe horror, friendly horror. Okay.
I want at the end credits we see Mike Myers hugging all the victims, letting everybody know it's okay.
Yes.
And
no.
Make it better.
I want Michael to take the mask off at the end of Ends and go, all I wanted was a hug that night.
And then apologize.
Be better than kill.
And you just kept like sticking things in my neck and jabbing me in the eye.
Yeah.
All I wanted was a hug.
That'd be amazing. That'd be great. That was the end of Halloween Ends. All I wanted was a fucking hug.
I killed somebody that didn't even look like me.
You know, it's crazy. I'm going to bring this all full circle, but we have to be really careful about this stuff because I'm a big fan of Indian cinema. People know that, especially the Indian horror genre. And it didn't happen today, and that's a whole different issue. But most of the time when you see those films, they have warnings about smoking, violence towards women, or drinking on screen during the movie.
Oh, what the fuck?
It comes up in the lower left-hand corner. It's like, smoking causes cancer. So you have to be careful. That we could end up there. Like, defend people's right to say whatever they want. People, it's important. I will say, Takad actually is in trouble in India too because they refuse to put all that in, and people smoke from the beginning of that movie to the end of the movie. There's always a cigarette on screen. And they just refused. They said, "We're not doing it."
Smoking can get you an R rating by the MPA here too.
Just about, yeah. It's definitely one of the things that builds up.
Read up on the movies. If you're sensitive about certain topics, that's fine. Read up on the movie. I don't think filmmakers should have to put that, certainly while you're watching the movie.
Yeah, that's a big distraction. Like, what the fuck is that in that corner over there? Why is that there?
Yeah, that's ridiculous. Yeah,
and that comes from that place of caution, right? Oh, can our society handle it? Well, you know what? We're adults. Either sell us the tickets as adults or don't.
If you survived public high school, you're not going to see or hear. You're not going to see or hear anything that you've not seen or heard before. You're going to be fine. So
we need to bring back true classic horror films like this right here.
I like the first two Hostel films. I might be one of the only ones on this panel, but I do.
No, I like Hostel.
I haven't seen it in probably a decade, but I liked it.
I haven't seen the third film. I know it exists, but
I haven't seen the third one either.
I think it's pretty low budget and campy.
I love horror.
I like Cabin Fever too.
I actually love Cabin Fever. Not the franchise.
I watched it not too long ago. It's a trip to watch after a long time. Like the way things are now, going back and seeing that movie. Man, it was a different time, guys.
Yeah.
It's monkeypox. Monkeypox now. That's the new one.
Oh Jesus, yeah. Oh God.
I'm waiting for the Asylum ripoff. They're gonna do something with monkeypox. I don't know what it's gonna be. You're gonna get some CG monkey that's gonna.
Oh, you're getting the COVID versus monkeypox movie.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
That's what you're
Charlie Band.
What was
Two-headed
the original?
COVID versus monkeypox shark or something. It's happening.
Yeah, it's some sort of giant bat fighting a monkey. God, it's gonna happen, and I'm gonna ask for money. I'm gonna sue the Asylum. So I'm gonna download this biz.
Oh goodness gracious! Anything else on your all's minds tonight?
I got something. Which horror film do you all own the most of? Mine's being Hostel. I own like 30 different copies of Hostel.
Wow. There are 30 different copies of Hostel? Are you talking about like foreign releases too?
Like foreign releases, different releases from different countries. Like I got a lot of them.
Okay.
I would guess, doesn't Evil Dead 2 have to have the record as far as like just constant re-releases?
It's got to be either Evil Dead 1 or 2, if not both of them, right there neck and neck. Yeah.
Or Halloween.
Halloween at this point. Friday the 13th is going to be right up there now too.
I think mine is Dream Master for some reason, just because I have the VHS, DVD, and Blu-ray. So
mine has to be Killer Shrews because it's on fucking everything. There's a good chance any movie you've ever bought, it's a bonus feature hidden somewhere on the disc.
That's true. If you've ever bought one of those 8, 10, 12, 30 movie packs, Killer Shrews are going to be on there. Silent Night, Bloody Night's going to be on there. Asylum, that Francis Ford Coppola movie, what's it? Asylum? Something? Dementia
13. Yeah. That's a good film, though. That's worth buying on every format.
They finally did a sequel to Killer Shrews, Attack of the Killer Shrews.
Yeah.
Not. If you want to experience it.
For me, I think the one that I own the most has got to be, at this point, Halloween. I'd say the original Halloween at this point is probably the one. There's a ton of those releases. Oh, I know. I mean,
Anchor Bay was putting it out quarterly.
Oh, I know. VHS. I've got like 2 or 3 different Blu-ray DVDs of it.
So, Piz, do you still have the Blockbuster VHS exclusive? So here's the interesting thing: that cut is the only version of the television version, because it was accidentally released in the frame rate that those additional scenes were shot in. Everything else is cropped in. So in a way, that's like the preferable way if you're going to watch the television version, is still that VHS Blockbuster exclusive. Fascinating.
See, I didn't know that. Wow, that's cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
If you compare it, if you put it in and watch the scenes of Michael at the window and that, and you compare it with like all the later releases, you'll see how much picture got lost on top and bottom, because those were shot for television.
Yeah.
So
like when I first rented Halloween, and those scenes weren't in it, I was pissed. I legit thought, I was like, this is a cut version. This is like some kind of edited version of Halloween. I had no idea, but to me, my Halloween has those scenes in it of young Michael, and
Hey, Piz, I'm there with you. I'm still angry that the cheesy opening narration is not in the thing from the television version. I love that. Nulls. Yeah, I love that. But they just outright introduce every character. I love that.
Yeah. Oh, goodness. Let's go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, I was just going to ask, has anybody booked their tickets to Crimes of the Future? Because I am very excited. I just booked a seat at AMC. I don't know how wide this one's going to be, but I was able to get a seat at my local AMC.
If it's not wide release, it probably won't come anywhere near here. So I don't know.
Are you AMC or Regal there? Or?
Ours is Malco.
Malco, okay. Yeah, I don't know. It's been a while.
I've got a Regal near me. Let me see if it's going to be there. Was it come out this weekend?
No, it's June
9th.
June 9th.
Yeah, I think it's the first week of June.
June 3rd, US. June 3rd.
Yeah.
Okay. My Regal has got it.
Mine probably does too. I live right down the road from one, so it probably has my one too.
I love the fact that these major exhibitors are picking up films that 5 years ago they wouldn't consider. This is the good legacy of COVID, is that the small independent films kept these exhibitors in business, and they're still giving them screens. It's the best thing that's happened in exhibition in the last 20 years. So if anything good came out of COVID, this is it.
If you're on the fence, all I'll remind people is look at David Cronenberg's filmography. I mean, has he let anybody down?
Yeah.
I'm there night one.
Even some of his lesser movies are still pretty. I mean, Naked Lunch, or what's the one like?
Naked Lunch.
He
changed. It's different from the book for sure.
Yeah, like even some of his even some of his lesser movies are still, and I don't mean lesser quality, but I mean like lesser known. Like Spider, I like Spider a lot. I like Existenz a lot. So I mean, has he done a bad movie? Has he?
No, never.
No.
I mean, I can't think of one.
I mean, to me, Existenz is on the bottom of my list of Cronenberg, but that's still like a B-. So I mean, like ridiculous. That's a great career.
Yeah.
And the top of his list, I mean, we talk about films no one talks about. Like The Brood is a masterpiece that no one talks about.
Yeah.
So there's a bunch of those in his career, and that's crazy. People talk about The Fly. That's, to me, like The Fly it's fine, but it's his more commercial film.
Yeah. It's kind of shocking that they allowed him to do that. They allowed him to make a Fly remake, like a major studio, big budget. Like
Scanners made money, man.
The Scanners,
yeah. That's what it was. The Scanners money turned everyone's head. This little Canadian exploitation film just set the box office alight. So he got The Fly out of it.
Yeah, and nobody ever talks about The Dead Zone, and I freaking love The Dead Zone. So
it's better than the novel.
Is anybody concerned by Kristen Stewart's involvement? Because I can't warm to her as an actress whatsoever.
I've always liked her.
After Underwater was like the last straw for me. That was just...
I don't have any love for that movie either.
I like that one. Maybe it's the ending that brings it up a little bit, but I do like Underwater. I get the criticism of her, but my guess is Cronenberg's using her in a role that makes sense. She was good as Princess Diana, and I don't know if that's so much acting or just more her personality kind of fit it, but I have absolute faith in Cronenberg.
What's the criticism with her? Just that she's stiff or something?
Stiff, yeah. I've heard resting bitch face.
She's cold, like just cold. It's like I can't warm to her as an actress. She just gives off.
She basically has the acting range of a Daisy air rifle that's been broken.
I was going to say I don't think she's got the widest range necessarily. I think she's played pretty much the same character in just about everything, which I think is just pretty much herself, to be honest. But I don't think she's ever been necessarily bad in anything. I mean, those Twilight movies aside,
that's not fair though. No one's going to be good in those. I mean,
yeah. She was good in Personal Shopper.
Yeah,
that movie.
Lizzie, the Lizzie Borden movie that she
I've
did.
not seen that one. I've not seen that one.
Again, she was cast appropriately. I never saw the Charlie's Angels thing she did, where apparently she plays kind of more of a sort of sex bomb character. That exists. Yeah, that I can imagine. You know what? It was funny. I was at Dollar Tree the other day and I found the Spanish version of it, which I thought was hilarious.
Well, that's probably the best way to watch it.
That's the best.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I'm gonna watch it.
I liked Adventureland, but not her in it. But I liked the film Adventureland with Is it Michael? Is it Jesse Eisenberg?
And a lot of people were in that one. Yeah, she's made good movies. That's the thing. Like, there's more than a few that I've enjoyed with her in it. It's just, again, I get it. I guess she's the Nicole Kidman.
She's not as bad as Nicole Kidman.
I mean,
that's not fair.
I've never put thought into it, but I guess like everything I've seen her in, I liked. But I guess she does always play that like awkward, fidgety person.
Yeah,
and that's just her. So.
Yeah.
The awkward, fidgety person. That's it. That's it.
Cronenberg will get a good performance out of her. I've really tried to avoid reading up too much on this movie. I did see the trailer, so I'm trying to go in as blind as I possibly can. But nobody said anything specific, but I've not heard a bad thing yet. Like, I've heard mind blowing. I've heard probably going to be among his best work, and that's a huge compliment. So I'm excited. Very, very high bar. Yes.
Well, did people walk out of the screening at Cannes? Because that's what he was expecting people to walk out of the.
I've heard. Yeah, apparently it hits hard.
Yeah. Good. I hope it does. And Nico, that is, listen. If you were standing in front of me, Nico, I'd slap you right in the mouth. All right. Listen, I did see a movie where Bronson had some range in it. It's called Breakout. All right. Yeah. And he's not just the tough guy. He's a fast talker, smooth talker. Doesn't need to use his fist because he uses his head.
And it's hard.
So. Headbutts people?
Headbutts people. No headbutting, though. No headbutting, unfortunately.
We need the romantic comedy with Kristen Stewart where the guy has to meet her dad, which is Charles Bronson. No, that's the movie we didn't get to see. Now, that would have been interesting.
The kid is Michael Cera.
The kid's Michael Cera, yeah, and he's just awkwardly sitting there while they're just staring at each other because she's home after midnight and just
like as soon as Sarah walks in, he just sees Bronson sitting there, and Bronson's like stroking a gun, and like immediately there's just a shot of his groin getting wet and the wet spreading down his legs.
No dialogue for like 10 minutes. It's just
no dialogue. Just him urinating on himself and Bronson going.
Wes Anderson directs it.
I have this image in my head. This is not going to not be cool for me to say at all, but I kind of see a Death Wish remake with President Biden in the role.
Oh my God. Oh Jesus.
Wow.
Great.
Yeah. I have purchased the Death Wish Bruce Willis film. I will watch that eventually. I promise.
It's gonna be.
Yeah, I'm sure it is. I'm just like, it just feels icky, but I'll see it eventually.
Get the original Death Wish out of your head, and you'll be fine. Yeah.
Ah, jeez. I can't tell if is this a joke or is Daily Ghost talking about the Cronenberg film? Did it get a 6-minute ovation?
I don't know. I've only heard about people walking out, but again, I've tried to avoid specifics. Yeah. So. Yeah.
Anything else you guys want to talk about before we call it a night?
I have a quick announcement. Actually, Flesh Wound Features is going to be working on the new Blu-ray from Unearthed Films of Christmas Cruelty. It's not up for pre-order yet, but it's a Norwegian slasher film, and we're doing the extras. So keep your eyes out for that if you want a Christmas slasher, an extreme Christmas slasher. Definitely not woke. Lots of bad things happen to people in that movie. So yeah, trigger warning for everything. But that's coming out hopefully in time for the holidays, I believe.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, that's very cool, man.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Awesome.
Shout out to Todd Farmer in the chat tonight. How's it going, Todd?
That's all I know.
And look at his picture. Him and the Atkins.
Nice.
Very nice. Hope you're doing well, Todd. But that's very cool, Dan. Yeah, very cool.
Yeah, check that out.
Anything else you guys want to discuss before we call it a night?
Yes, I got one more thing.
Sure.
What is one horror movie remake that is better than the original? I got two. I want to hear your guys' first.
My Bloody Valentine 3D.
Hills
Maniac.
My Bloody
You're
Valentine.
not at all playing to the audience, Piz. I might agree with that though.
I agree with that as well, but Hills Have Eyes by far.
Hills Have Eyes is a really good choice for that.
Maniac. I don't know if that's a popular opinion, but
I love the Maniac remake, but it's not as
amazing.
Good.
Now,
as
the big one for me is always going
I
to
do
be the '78 Invasion of the Body Snatchers.
Oh, yeah,
that is so good.
Just so superior.
I'll say The Thing '82 over.
Not a remake.
What?
Yeah.
It's not a remake.
Oh.
No, the first film is The Thing from Outer Space in name only. The Thing from Another World in name only. In the second, and Carpenter's is closer.
Okay, I'll say
they're not the same story.
Okay, the Blob. I'll say the Blob.
I disagree, but that's fair.
What? Okay.
What do you mean? What?
Oh shit!
Mike, it's very important that you understand that I respect your wrong opinion.
I don't know what my choice would be.
Kevin Dillon, come on, Lord. Kevin Dillon.
Come on.
Come on, Steve McQueen, Kevin Dillon.
Yeah. Steve McQueen was. Have you seen Bullet? Have you seen Bullet?
It's an old. Yeah.
Kevin Dillon could not be Bullet. That's so I win.
Erica Ellen Ayak is in the Blob '88. Come on.
All right. Cool.
I like the Blob '88.
It's a great movie. I love it too. It's really good.
But the original is like perfect 50s sci-fi horror, like popcorn horror. It's just perfect.
I might have to go with Lauren on this one. I do love the Blob '88. I mean, we mentioned Cronenberg's The Fly.
Yeah.
But that Invasion of the Body Snatchers, I revisited it recently, and it is really good.
All right. So mine. This is Psycho '94.
Not 98.
98. Yeah, 98.
Lorne's leaving now.
Wow.
Lorne's gone.
I perfectly well respect his wrong opinion as well.
Keep in mind, this is he's not portraying a character. This is not a work. These are his true feelings. He prefers the Psycho shot-for-shot remake over the original, and that's perfectly okay.
This is what happens when you don't breastfeed your children, people.
Oh my god!
So the Psycho remake and also Rob Zombie's Halloween is better than the original. The original Halloween is the most open horror film ever made.
And I was defending you by giving you a childhood trauma, and you have to come out with that.
I was about to defend you and say I have weird opinions on movies too sometimes, but that kind of just blew it, man.
Hey, you do get Anne Heche's Beehole in Psycho 98, so there's something at least different. So there's that. But that
was worth the entire remake.
There you go. That's but
it really wasn't.
I'm going the original. I'm just trying to find something nice to say. There you go.
And Vince Vaughn was amazing in that role. I thought Vince Vaughn did really well. A lot of people shit on Vince Vaughn for it, but I thought he did really good.
It's also an impossible. I mean, if I were any kind of a star, I'd never agree to playing that role.
You're just no.
Yeah, I mean, even I forget his name, Freddie Highmore or something like that played him in the series. Like pretty good, but again, just big shoes. And unless you're just going to mimic Anthony Perkins, and I wouldn't want to do that.
There had to be big paydays, I'm guessing. Like Vince, we want to pay you to be in a shot-for-shot remake of Psycho, and you're going to play Norman Bates. Oh, what can I bring anything to it of my own? No, I want you to be just like Anthony Perkins in the first one. Oh,
I think everybody had to know going into that, like, this is not a good idea.
And then, but then can you imagine at the premiere, you're sitting down, you're like, okay, I had to do exactly, well, no matter what your role was or what you did behind the scenes, you're saying I had to do exactly what was in the film, and you're watching Vince Vaughn masturbate on screen and a cow get hit by a car. You're like, but I couldn't make an adjustment.
Maybe that was Vince's adjustment. Vince was like, look, Gus, I really think that Norman needs to do this in this scene. And Gus was like, well, whatever.
The novel's pretty explicit about what's going on there. So
I need to read that novel. I've owned it for years. I've just never cracked it open.
It's a fast read, man. You'll get through it in a sitting.
Yeah.
No.
Block was really good about having fast prose. So
yeah. I mean, Psycho is timeless. That's just impossible. I don't want to see any kind of remake of that again. What are you going to do with it at this point?
Bring back Vince Vaughn.
No.
Wasn't the remake just kind of an experiment to see if you could replicate it, if it was like a science or if there was something intangible with the original? I thought that's why he did it, to see if he could, recapture it by doing it exactly the same.
I have no idea what they were thinking back then.
I think they were thinking that they needed to do this thing.
It was doomed from the start, because I remember like nobody was excited for that movie back in the day.
No.
Did anybody see that before the original? Now I know that can be different for some people. Nobody. Okay. I'm sure there's somebody in the chat that saw that first. I'd be interested to hear from anybody that was your first introduction, and then how did you take the original, which in my opinion is pretty damn close to a flawless film.
And there's probably a lot of people out there who that's the only Psycho they know.
Yeah, they're out there.
I'm going to choose to believe that can't be true. You're right, but I'm going to choose to believe that's not true.
No.
It's a better world where that doesn't happen.
Look, there are people that exist that I know who have only watched the Rob Zombie Halloweens, and that is Michael Myers to them. They're out there.
That's true. That's true.
They are out there.
Yeah, that's true.
One of them. Well, I've seen the Virgin Halloween, but
he prefers the zombie. That's
There's a lot of people out there.
There's a lot. All right, Nico, take care, man. Have a good night. Enjoy Wild Things in glorious 4K, my friend.
Nice.
Yes.
How's the 4K look on that one? If anybody's gotten it,
It looked good. It looked good. It looked good in all the right places. So, all the right places. So yeah, all right. Well, let's go ahead and call it a night. We've been going for just over 2 hours, and let's see. Dan, where can we find you on social media?
Flesh Wound Features here on YouTube, and for those of you who want to vote for me on Born to Be Rad's video for Horror YouTuber of the Month. Myself and the Flesh Wound Features crew, most appreciated.
Yes, they got my vote for free.
Yes.
They didn't pay me a thing.
Not a thing. Not a thing.
No.
I got paid.
Oh, what? All right, we got to talk. Dan.
He's a better negotiator, Piz. What are you?
We got to. I'm going to retract that vote.
That's Lauren and Sam. So that was a twofer.
That was a 2-for-1. I get it. Mike, where can we find you on social media?
On Twitter, Real Fifth Beetle, and YouTube. If you like what you see tonight, like movie discussion and shit like that, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, midnight UK time. So yeah, Real Fifth Beetle on YouTube, live stream every Tuesday night. So yeah, check me out.
Very cool. Chris, where can we find you, man?
My channel /your home video, and I actually started an Instagram, and it's /your home video too with underscores. Yeah, I'm not the no social media guy anymore. So
all right, well, welcome to social media. You'll regret this till the day you die.
Maybe.
I'm just kidding. Just make sure you're following the right people.
Well, I picked Instagram because it seemed like the least toxic.
Instagram is, strangely enough, Instagram, in my opinion, is the least toxic social media platform.
Yeah, it's really just pictures. So far, it's been pretty innocuous and enjoyable. Yeah. So for now, I'm on there.
Stay off Twitter. Jesus.
Yeah. I quit that a long time ago.
Twitter can be rough. And Dan, Todd Farmer's voting for you.
Oh, man, that's awesome, Todd. Thank you so much.
All right. Very cool. Oh, Curly Johns, where can we find you on social media, sir?
You can find me at Curly Jaws and Duncan here on YouTube. I do horror reviews and pretty much all random shit. You'll find it if you like. You'll find something on there you'll like. I'll say that.
Awesome. Okay. I just subbed to you, man. Look forward to it.
Yeah.
And Curly Jaws, I'm looking forward to having you on the stream more often.
Oh yeah, definitely. I'll be back.
You have your hot takes are some of the hottest. So I mean, you've got interesting tastes in movies, and I like that. I appreciate that. So
thanks.
Yeah, right on. Lauren, where can we find you on social media?
At Lauren Dixon on the Twitter, and Visit by Voices 1 on the YouTube. Most recent show was a Just Talking genre with a special guest named Piz.
Yeah,
which was an exciting talk. Lots of fun. I invite everyone out there to come over and check us out, and I promise not to be boring.
Okay.
Much.
Very cool. Very cool. Dan, why don't you tweet at Todd the where he can go vote for you for the Flesh Wound?
Awesome.
So he'll have it. Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Let me do some shout outs here. We've got Todd Farmer in the chat hanging out. We've got the Daily Ghost who couldn't join us tonight, but hopefully he'll be back next time. We've got Brian Trash, Mike Barrett, Big Crack Rock, Jamie, Garrett, Febzer, Ben Grimm, Mean Dave Cranberry. There's my buddy Garrett, Born to Be Rad. Nocturnal 91 joined us over on Twitch, as did Scary Jerry too. Thank you guys. We got Wolf here on YouTube. We got Francis Chainsaw Grimp, Smudge, Orc. We had Orc hanging out with us tonight also. Orc, I hope you're doing good. Punisher Batman fan. Michael Sullivan. Michael Sullivan chose Night of the Living Dead 1990 as his favorite remake.
Good choice.
I like it. I do like it.
Yeah, it's not better than the original though.
No, it's not, but I like it. Our buddy Nico, who's now watching Wild Things in 4K. Let's see, who else do we have with us? Robert Long, Dr. CZ Death. Mr. Sam was hanging out with us earlier tonight also. So thank you all for tuning in. We appreciate it. And thank you all for joining me tonight. Thank you all for being patrons. I appreciate the support. And yeah, we'll see you all again very, very soon. And until then, take care, be good, and peace.
You're late, guys. Sure.
Just hanging in there, man. I'm working